I think it's sort of time to call a spade with WikiLeaks. Now, the guy is not biased. Nobody's biased. A judge is not biased. Every one of us, to be human means you are biased. You will view your world based on your experiences. So, right now, the mainstream media has their bias, and their bias is the corporate world. They only want you to hear one side of a story. So when you go and look at Julian Assange's release of this information, you can trust, without a doubt, he's viewing this information from his biased opinion. And his biased opinion is, as a little guy, I would like to know this information. So, that's all it is one guy's perception of what's going on. You won't know the full truth until you get the full and complete picture of everybody's side. I have zero doubt that these wealthy politicians have a point of view, and basically we're hearing their point of view that anybody that speaks the truth should be killed. And look at Canada. This is the mindset in Canada, which is why I do this channel in the first place. Why I'm talking about the shit I'm talking about, because that mindset is how our Prime Minister treats people too. That if you tell the truth in Canada, they want to see you dead. Even though we have laws against murdering people, they actually do a lot of creative ways of making sure people get killed. Abuse is one of them, that here in Canada, if you report abuse, what they do is escalate the abuse so that your abuser will end up killing you, so that you keep your mouth shut, because the government doesn't want to hear about the abuse because they're so busy killing people. So we need to call a spade a spade. You can't get away from it. To be human, you're biased. Julian Assange is not a bad guy. To be a bad guy means that you have to not be biased. And take a look at the web bot. That was a prime example. That this guy that's even saying it is he says that it won't work if you are biased. So, and he is biased, which is why he got the dates wrong. And also, he's viewing it from a perspective that something really, really big and bad is about to happen. And yeah, you can see and look at our world that all of this, information that we're getting is a big bad thing. Is it really? It's only big and bad to the bad guys, but to us little people who can't really see the good yet, it's actually a really, really good thing. But it depends on how you want to view things. So, I see it as it's a really, really good thing, and it happened on, a different date, which is why the webbot can't get it right, because they're looking for the bad shit. They're looking for words that suggest there's something bad going on. But he can't see that these words would actually say something really good, something as big as 9/11, but on the other end of the spectrum is about to happen. He might have got it right. But this is why our justice systems can't work. Because every judge, who's usually wealthy, will always view any law case that he's about to judge from his biased opinion. I was involved with the court case. I was dealing with an abuse. I needed these nonprofits, which I found out they didn't exist. They, all nonprofits get paid to just give out phone numbers to, each other. Because if you're in a situation where you actually need some of these organizations, try going and walking the path and actually using some of them. They have a nice long list that when you walk in the door and you say, I need your help, they say, well, here's a pile of organizations that'll help you. And they'll keep you busy with a good 25 phone numbers. When you phone that whole list, all they got is, here's a list of phone numbers that'll help you out. So there's a whole pile of people within nonprofit organizations that are just handing out phone numbers and not actually helping nobody out. But yeah, my Canadian government would like to see me dead, which is why my abuser actually got financially rewarded, didn't have to pay his income tax. He got away with a lot of shit. Meanwhile, he was allowed to, beat the crap out of me financially, emotionally, and actually went through my kids, encouraged them to beat me up when he couldn't do it. A lot of dirty secrets that nobody wants to talk about. So my main point is yeah, consider that Julian is definitely looking at it from a biased perspective, and he's looking at it from the perspective as the little guy needs a little bit more information. You know, it's not something that we should sit there and be at war with the big guys. It's about time that we just start saying, you know, is this the direction we want to go into? You know, like, there's so much more that probably will not come out through these documents that are going to be unfolding. But what will come out is our personal conversations. You know, there's so much more information out there that's not within government that, you know, like, nobody's reporting this shit. It just doesn't even seem to be relevant. But us guys on the bottom that are kind of really loving the idea of all this information out. We're kind of loving the response from media and the corporate world and the politicians. I love hearing them just admit, yeah, I'm a killer. I will, you know, I'm against killing. I live in a country that says killing other people is wrong. You know, I live in a country where we're peacekeepers, and yet our government is saying, yeah, we should kill the person that's saying the truth. And that has been my experience for 9 years here in Canada. The mentality of trying to kill somebody, you know, in a way that they get away with it. There's no, you know, nobody will even do an investigation after you're dead to find out the causes of why you end up dead. You know, so I'm loving what he's saying, but just take it from the perspective that he's giving this information and that he is human. He is human. He's not telling anybody to get killed. Everything that I'm seeing in there has zero to do with anybody actually getting harmed. I'm sure he doesn't even like the rich guys getting harmed from this. But, you know, if you kind of say, that guy's throwing rocks through windows, you know, the guy with the rock in his hand ain't going to feel too comfortable. So, them's are the breaks. You know, sometimes you have to swallow the big pill when you hear truth, but, you know, these big guys, let's face it, they just want to kill somebody that's telling the truth. And I think that we should give him as much support as possible, but look at it from that perspective. And don't shoot the messenger. He's only a friggin' messenger. He's giving another side to a story. And that's all it is. It's just the other side. There's a billion. How many people on the planet right now? Every one of us has a point of view. Every one of us has a different perspective on everything. You know, and it's like we're so disconnected from each other that, you know, if we're going to argue about all the things we disagree with, it's like we'll find peace when we find out what we do agree with. We have to start from the first thing. What is it that we do agree with? And that's where these conversations, after we get this information, let's find out the things we do agree, and then let's build up on all of the things that we find agreement with. Because Lord knows, with this many people on the planet and everybody's disagreeing with everybody else, and we focus on all of the things that are disagreeing, trust, the planet's going to get destroyed. It's a button waiting to be pushed and will be our own destruction. But if we can sort of pull back and say, okay, what is it that we do agree on? And don't shoot the messenger, because you are the messenger as well. Peace out.